Hello. Am I good to start reading? Okay, sorry. My name is Jordan Reed. I'm a theater and performance artist based in Brooklyn, and I'll be sharing 3 poems with you today. So the first poem is titled Easter Sunday. I see you Easter Sunday, after I come back from visiting Tititi's house, con mi madre y otra abuela y todas las titis y todos los tíos. You smell the stench of tostones on me and ask, how is the Puerto Rican Day parade? Like, how is the clinic? Like, how is taking out the trash? A sprout you planted coming from the ground, pissed on instead of watered. You ask me, how's the Puerto Rican Day parade? It never occurred to me Easter Sunday would be a bad day for a parade. It never occurred to me to ask you how come you never wanted to take me there. I would have loved to go. Yet I spent hours wasted, desperately huddled over plastic shovels, furiously building a house of sand stained in blood, our bond. Suddenly, I'm reduced back to that child. I'm at Playa Bouye, kicking it over defiantly. You ask me, how is the Puerto Rican Day parade? I look into your alabaster face, the one that resembles my own, and say, it was so fucking beautiful. Just like me. And I can't wait to go again without you. Thank you. The second poem that I'll be sharing with you all tonight is titled Raíces, which means roots. I know that my mother is looking over me. Even through hurricane winds, my homestead remains untouched in her eyes. But the key was taken from me. Am I a bastard of a thing, unrecognizable to its kin? I find an open window and crawl through. Inside, I smell erosi gandule and my mouth waters. Looking through the kitchen, I wonder, am I a monster if I don't like avocado? I've never enjoyed canepas either. Mushy in my mouth, and yet I still have a taste for the sweet juice. Am I a bastard of a thing, unrecognizable to its kin? What a miracle it is to grow out of soil you were never planted in. Yet here I am, a palm tree in cedar, letting gentle baths of rain pass over me, saying hello to the mountains that I feel blessed to know as loved ones instead of strangers, wondering if I would have grown taller planted at home. I am a mixed match woodwork forged from eons of wombs ripped open, big ships with white sails and fangs carried in utero, interwoven with mother's milk island breezes and coquille songs under twinkling starlight. Am I a bastard of a thing, unrecognizable to its kin? Looking out over the horizon, I hope Yamaya will welcome me with open arms. Even if I submerge from the shore as waiting driftwood, accidentally bruising shins. A bastard of a thing, unrecognizable to its kin, empty-handed but heart full, floating in turquoise water that looks an icy gray, the aftermath of devastating hurricane winds, hoping to be replanted home. Thank you. So I am going to share my third poem with you this evening, and that is called Carrier Pigeon. My heart is a carrier pigeon. Each morning as the sun rises, I open her little golden cage and give her a pat on the head, gingerly placing a note upon her back, giddiness bubbling in my stomach, she coos eagerly. Holding her firmly to my chest, I open my window in the kitchen, sunlight beaming in with crisp air. I let her go. She flutters into the sky, poking through cirrus clouds, soaring over a sea of cement and rooftops stained in hues of pink. She follows the Connecticut River heading north, a change in tide to waves of rolling green valleys. The sight of your face is a beacon. She finds you with a warm smile, waiting on your doorstep and landing in your soft hands. A familiar friend, you have an afternoon smoke and sit outside with her perched in your lap. Each exhale is carried in the breeze. Golden hour falls upon the oak trees across the street until a silver moon appears, sleeping in dusky indigo haze. Skyscraping windows gleaming like stars in the distance from my window, my kitchen window still open. I hear fluttering and stir to find her perched on the sill in anticipation. Sighing relief, I cup my hands in front of her. She hops into them joyfully. I close my eyes, holding her firmly to my chest, and suddenly the air is perfumed with tobacco. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and for listening to our readings. And I really want to thank Imaginarium for creating this space and for the cohort of artists that I was working in within my writers group and the community that we were able to create there. Thank you. And then so now we do the Q&A. And so I've got a few questions here. How does your poetry influence your playwriting? I would say that it influences my playwriting in the sense that when I do performance art or more devised work, it's really driven by heightened language. Also with playwriting in a more conventional sense, like in terms of my editing process, I approach it in the same way as poetry, where I really just write in a like stream of conscious type of way, and then either whittle down or elaborate after the fact. What are your future plans for your poems? That's a great question. I have two immediate answers. One would be that I submit them, so getting them into publications. I've been thinking of creating a series for like my Instagram, like maybe doing little like weekly readings, either on live or doing like reels or kind of like posting the graphic of the text. And also, two of the three poems that I read were written when I was initially conceiving a performance art piece. I don't know if I'm still going to include those poems in there, but I might, because that's like where the context that I originally wrote them in. And so if that was the case, like doing residencies with that performance art piece. I hope that answered your question. Lots of questions. So the next one is, what is your process for writing, workshopping your poetry? My process is to write stream of conscious, and then just kind of let it sit. And then I'll come back to it and either whittle it down, or maybe fix something that like, in my head was like shorthand, but grammatically wouldn't make sense. Like, things like that. Or I will pick places where I can be more descriptive or think of how I can frame something in metaphor instead of saying something more directly, like instead of saying I love you, like asking the question of like, well, what does love feel like or look like to me? And also I'm a big peer editor, so I always I have like a couple trusted friends that I always share my poems with, and so I'll edit it based on their feedback as well. Imaginarium, again, thank you so much. I got a lot of amazing feedback for these poems within this writers group because I love peer editing. What feedback is helpful? If something feels like it's not descriptive. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the question out loud actually. What feedback is helpful for you in the writing workshops for poetry? Um, Something that feels like it could be more descriptive. Like I'm gonna assume this question means like what is the type of feedback I enjoy receiving. So if something feels like unclear or like it could be more descriptive or elaborated more or leaned more into. Also a lot of the time, like I will come into the feedback with guided questions of like, what do you think is happening? And if people's answer is like not like, my answer is, oh, I'm talking about my relationship with my grandmother, but like the people in the group think it's like about my boyfriend or something, then like maybe I'm gonna go back to the drawing board because that's really not the relationship I'm trying to convey. So yeah, I'll also like kind of guide the feedback in that sense. How long does it take you to write a poem of these lengths? Will it generally take many sessions and rewrites? I would say yes and no. I would say the initial like kind of blah, 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 like stream of conscious part does not take me long. And then the editing part, yeah, it does take a while. Like I'm the type of person too where like I'll always go back and revisit something, like even if it's like 5 years later. You know what I mean? So that's part of it too. Like, so I don't know, like maybe I'll be happy with a draft for like 3 years and then I'll go back and be like, oh, like I want to reword this a certain way actually. Um, but I guess for it to be a place where I feel happy with it, I think that depends on how much I'm actively working on something. So yeah, it really depends. That's hard for me to give it an honest answer. I think like for me, I'm not trying to worry about how long, I guess, because I'm just trying to trust the process. Unless, for some reason there's some like godforsaken deadline. That doesn't usually happen though. Unless it's like applying to something, which in that case I already wrote the poem. Would you ever consider conducting a poetry workshop or class of your own? I would. So with kids, yes, because I have a lot of experience working with kids, and I feel like just, like the kind of rudimentary steps, like I feel like I'm in a place where I could teach that, but my training in poetry isn't super formal. I don't know, this might be like my internalized like academia self showing. I don't know, but I don't really have formal training in poetry. So I would feel a little like uncomfortable, I guess, teaching like my own peers, people my own age, because I feel like I'm still in a position where I'm a student myself. What other projects do you have coming up? Where can you see more of your work? Oh, thank you. I'm featured in Protest Through Poetry anthology. There's an older draft of one of the poems that I just read there, actually. I do burlesque, so I'll be doing, I'm co-producing a burlesque show with actually one of the people in Imaginarium. We're co-producing a show together at Bushwick Public House that's like around Valentine's Day. And I have a reading for another piece, like a play that I worked for that I'm producing myself. That'll be coming up early March. So follow me on Instagram. That all of my stuff is on Instagram. And that's at JORDAN Liz LIZ Reed REED. I always post like what I'm up to. When you sit down to write stream of consciousness, is that something you set as I would say yes to both. If I'm like upset about something, or if I'm just like so overjoyed, then sometimes I feel called like, oh, like I'm gonna write this down, I'm gonna capture this feeling. And then I don't know, other times like inspiration is not so plentiful, and so I'll just really try to like sit down and make the time for it. Like I'm gonna write like 2 pages, or I'm gonna write for like a half hour. Like I try to work at least once a week, um, on my writing, like revisiting drafts and stuff like that. Okay. Thank you all so much for your questions. Those are all really wonderful, thoughtful questions. And I feel so like honored and blessed that like you all were that curious. So I really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. And thank you to Imaginarium. I'm laughing because I'm realizing also, I'm on my phone, so like my face was really up in everyone's grill. So we can all laugh at that because I'm an abuelita. Thank you all. Have a good night.
and a picnic table in the middle. The stage right side is the edge of the woods and leads to the meeting grounds of the Deschutes Animal Association Paulina Lake Branch Board. The meeting takes place in the thick of the woods around a fallen tree. There are spaces for animals to sit, rest, and perch, but no specific clearing. The stage left side leads to the back to the campsite, while the stage right side continues to be thicketed woods. It leads to the Deschutes National Forest. The remainder of the round stage is covered with trees, shrubs, and bushes, and every part of the forest. The hiking trail should start as close as possible to the stage left side of the campsite, but there's no straight path from one to the Dawn, a campsite at Lake Paulina in the Deschutes National Forest of Oregon. Trees, shrubs, and bushes surround the clearing. On the stage left side, there is a sandy path that leads to the lake. In the center lay the foundations of a campsite with a fire pit slightly off to stage right and a picnic table in the middle. The stage right side is the edge of the woods and leads to the meeting grounds of the Deschutes Animal Association Paulina Lake Branch Board. The meeting takes place in the thick of the woods around a fallen tree. There are spaces for animals to sit, rest, and perch, but no specific clearing. The stage left side leads to the back to the campsite, while the stage right side continues to be thicketed woods. It leads to the Deschutes National Forest. The remainder of the round stage is covered with trees, shrubs, and bushes, and every part of the forest. The hiking trail should start as close as possible to the stage left side of the campsite, but there's no straight path from one to the other. There is a bear warning and a newly posted cougar warning on a tree close to the entrance. To get to the hiking path, one must first go down the sandy lake path. Midday, we hear a faint car engine slowly get louder. We hear that the car parks. From upstage right, the human visitors enter. They're each laden with camping gear. Mickey and Chad immediately drop their bags and the tents on the picnic table and start to find the perfect spot to pitch a 2-person tent and a 4-person tent. We hear them chat about the wind, ground, and bugs. After a few moments of searching, they find the ideal spot and start pitching. Tiffany drops her bag off at the picnic table and asks where the bathroom is, then heads off stage left to use it. Becca and Kenny drop their bags off on the picnic table. They stand awkwardly.
I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again?
Kenny. You're Becca, right? And your girlfriend is Tiffany?
Yeah.
Don't sweat the name thing.
I'll try not to.
I'm gonna set up my hammock.
All right. I'll bring the stove and stuff out from the car.
Sounds good.
Kenny goes to the picnic table to grab his hammock. He walks to the edge of the woods, stage right, and starts to set it up between 2 trees. Becca goes off stage to the car to grab the cooking materials. Mickey and Chad have set up the 4-person tent flawlessly and are working on the 2-person tent. When he finishes setting up, Kenny sits in the hammock and starts swinging gently back and forth. After a moment, Tiffany comes back from the restroom. She surveys the campsite for a moment.
Where did Becca go?
She went to the car.
Cool.
Tiffany pulls her phone out of her pocket as she walks over to the picnic table. She sits down and starts scrolling.
Did anyone else just get an alert on their phone?
Nope. Well, not since I checked it yesterday.
What does it say?
To watch out for cougars passing through the area.
Oh, well, I brought cougar mace.
We just gotta get really big and really loud if we see any. They're scaredy cats, pun intended.
Ah.
Cool.
Tiffany looks back at her phone, no longer interested in conversation. Mickey and Chad go back to setting up the tent. After a few moments, Becca returns with the camp stove in both hands and a reusable grocery bag slung over both shoulders.
Can someone grab the cooler, please? My hands are full.
On it.
Kenny leaps from the hammock gracefully, then exits to grab the cooler. Becca scurries over to the picnic table to put things down. Tiffany looks up from her phone.
Do you need help?
Yeah, that would be lovely. Just clear space for me, please.
Tiffany puts her phone on the table and starts to clear space. As soon as the space is available, Becca places the stove down. She quickly puts the grocery bags of supplies on the seats next to the stove.
Come here.
Becca sits down next to Tiffany on the bench. Tiffany begins to massage her shoulders and arms. Kenny returns with the cooler and puts it next to the fire pit. Mickey and Chad finish setting up the two-person tent.
What do you say we all check out Polina Lake?
Hell yeah, I brought my cougar mace.
Cougar mace.
There's a cougar warning on the Deschutes website, but we'll be fine. They avoid humans anyway.
Becca grabs both her and Tiffany's bags and puts them in the two-person tent.
Let me change into my hiking shoes, then I'll be golden.
Tiffany gets up and jogs off stage to the car. The three others follow Becca's lead and put their bags in the four-person tent. Tiffany returns wearing chic and stylish hiking boots. Chad starts heading towards the sandy lake path.
Next stop, Polina Lake.
The human visitors exit down the sandy path to Polina Lake. After a moment of stillness, a few members of the Polina Lake Animal Association come to check out the scene. Mike lands directly on the picnic table, stretching his wings as he settles. Hannah and Jacob perform a short mating flight before landing on a tree branch next to the fire pit.
It's pretty simple.
But they've got everything a human could ever need.
He hops over and sticks his beak in one of the reusable grocery bags that Becca put on the table. After a moment of rummaging and plenty of straining, he pulls out a wrapped roll of toilet paper. Mike whips the toilet paper onto the table forcefully and rolls it off the other side of the table.
They even have that special rolled up paper they love so much.
American humans are weird.
I guess they're quaint.
The Chipmunk Family, Sandy, Chica, and Benson, scurry out from the forest under Kenny's hammock.
New mans! New mans! New mans! Got many cool gadgets?
See how long these'll last.
Got many snackies?
Chica climbs onto the picnic table and positions herself to jump into one of the grocery bags.
Don't.
Chica dives bomb into the grocery bag, tipping it over. The contents and Chica spill out across the clearing. Mike groans while Hannah and Jacob snicker. Meanwhile, Sandy climbs up one of the trees that Kenny tied his hammock to. She easily makes it into the hammock and begins exploring. The hammock swings wildly as she does.
I think the gadget's here.
Benson waddles up to the four-person tent and stares. He spends a long moment trying to understand the zipper mechanism before jumping to grab it. He misses multiple times.
Benson, leave it alone.
But I want to know what they're hiding inside.
Foreign treasures.
Gadgies.
Valuables. They don't want pesky creatures like you all snooping around their belongings.
Benson ignores Mike and continues to try and reach the zipper. He is unsuccessful. Jacob and Hannah cheer him on while cuddling close together. Sandy pops her head out of the hammock and points at the fallen toilet paper.
You threw that there, Pesky.
Flustered, Mike hops off the picnic table to grab the toilet paper. He fumbles for a while, unable to grab it with his talons. Finally, he gets a grip. Chica is still playing in the scattered remains of the grocery bag. Mike hovers back and attempts to drop the toilet paper into the original grocery bag. It misses.
Nice shot.
Mike grumbles and takes another shot at getting the toilet paper back into the grocery bag. As the toilet paper bounces off the side of the grocery bag, we hear the human visitors chattering in the distance. They are returning to camp.
Time to go.
Hannah and Jacob fly off quickly. After Benson makes a last-ditch attempt to reach the zipper, he starts running back towards the forest. On the way, he nudges Chica to get her moving. Chica had been a shiny, mesmerizing silver spoon's captive. Sandy expertly maneuvers out of the hammock and into the forest with her chipmunk family. The sounds of the humans get closer as Mike attempts to toss the toilet paper into the grocery bag again. The wrapping of the paper gets stuck on his talon as he makes his last shot. The now free roll of toilet paper streams through the air and misses the bag.
Shit.
Just before the humans enter the scene, Mike flies awkwardly away. The human visitors return to camp from Paulina Lake.
Y'all.
What the fuck?
Damn, they're vicious this year.
Right, our two-ply.
We have more, right? Even if we don't, please tell me we have more.
There's more in the car, thank God.
Fucking Christ, it hasn't even been a day yet.
We thought it wouldn't be an issue.
They're animals. They don't know any better.
Kenny inspects the cooler.
They didn't get the cooler. Let's clean up and make dinner.
Kenny starts to clean up. The others join him. Meanwhile, on a tree branch in the Deschutes National Forest,
The mates back home will love this.
We haven't even gotten to the worst part yet.
Which is...
I give him maybe one day and you'll find out.
Hannah cuddles up close to Jacob.
What do you say we have some fun in the meantime?
Jacob blushes. Afternoon fades to evening, as back at the campsite, the humans are in the middle of cooking something vegan and delicious. Chad is manning the stove. The rest of the human visitors are playing Texas Hold'em.
And that's a full house, motherfuckers.
Tiffany throws down a pair of twos.
God fucking damn it, Bex. The eyebrow twitch fucking got me.
All right, Becca, you're the dealer now.
Let's fucking go.
Hold up on that deal, Becca. Dinner is ready.
I mean, I'm good if we just call it here.
Of course you are. You're winning.
I'm gonna call it.
I want to keep what little I have left.
Becca starts gathering the cards up as the others get up to scoop food into their dishes. The transition to dinner time is seamless, as the group sits around the picnic table to eat. The Deschutes Animal Association meeting grounds. Mike sits on a low-hanging branch near Mauve.
I'm telling you, these ones need our help.
And I'm telling you, I can't do anything without calling a meeting first.
That's bullshit.
Excuse me?
You're the mayor of the forest. You can help them with a flick of your ear. But that would scare off your human-hating voters, wouldn't it?
Mike.
Mauve, stop sticking your head in the sand. This is going to keep happening over and over again.
Let's have the meeting.
If it's not tomorrow, it'll be too late.
Tomorrow is not realistic. I'm setting it for the day after. Let the others know.
You're making a mistake.
Mike flies off as night falls. The human visitors have finished their delicious meal, cleaned their dishes, and are ready for bed.
All right, good night, everyone. Sleep tight, and don't let the cougars bite.
Right. Sleep well.
As Becca and Tiffany slip into the two-person tent, they wave goodnight to the others. Chad, Mickey, and Kenny all slip into the four-person tent. After a few moments of rustling in both tents, the humans turn off the inside lanterns. The human visitors are sound asleep in their tents. After a few moments of silence, the gleam of Mike's eyes are visible swooping from the sky into one of the surrounding trees. After another moment of silence, a four-legged shadow appears from the Animal Association grounds. It walks past the trees and towards the cooler full of food. Mike lets out a shrill shriek. The shadow, startled, runs off the way it came. Mike swoops after it. The four-person tent rustles as someone fumbles with the zipper. After a long moment of fumbling, Kenny steps out. He closes the tent behind him gently. Then, Kenny pulls out his phone, turns on the flashlight, and looks around for the noise source a few times before heading off stage left to use the bathroom. Meanwhile, Chelsea bursts through the Animal Association meeting grounds and into the thicketed section of the Deschutes National Forest. Mike is hot on her tail.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm passing through, I swear.
What were you doing?
Chelsea takes a sharp turn into the bushes and brambles. Mike crashes into a tree branch. Chelsea leaps out and pins him down.
I was passing through, asshole.
I
The fuck is your problem?
I thought you were someone else. That the camp has an infamous visitor.
Well, I have never been to the neck of the woods, but I'm happy to know that my reputation gets around.
Do you think that's funny?
Chelsea laughs as she lets Mike go.
Yes, now fuck off, bird.
Mike picks himself up off the ground. Chelsea turns to walk away.
Will you be here long?
Oh, now you want to be friends. I might be, I might not be. Haven't decided yet. What's it to you?
It's just that these parts get dangerous whenever humans are around.
They're just humans. And these ones are stupid enough to leave their cooler out.
No, not the visitors.
The trees rustle as Kenny enters the Deschutes National Forest. He is smoking a joint. Chelsea bolts into the bushes and Mike soars into an overhead branch. Kenny snaps his head toward the bushes and then the air, but can't make anything out. Kenny continues walking and smoking calmly. We see both Chelsea and Mike's eyes gleam in the dark. Kenny gets a few hits before the killer enters quickly and silently from the Deschutes National Forest. The killer stabs Kenny in the back while clapping their hand over his mouth. We hear Kenny gag violently on the joint. The stabbing continues aggressively for a while. After a moment, the killer stops their manic stabbing and instead starts to dress the scene as a cougar attack. Once finished, the killer disappears back into the woods.
This motherfucker.
I can help you.
I don't kill humans.
I know.
This is so fucked up.
Let me help you.
What the fuck are you gonna do?
I can make this go away.
If this gets out like this and everyone thinks that
No one will think anything. I'll help you.
I'll never be able to start a family. I mean, anywhere they'll kill me.
I won't let that happen. Come with me.
Please just make it go away.
I'll make it go away. I'm Mike, by the way.
Chelsea.
Mike leads Chelsea through the Animal Association meeting grounds. They exit. Morning. The campsite is quiet, and there is some dew on the ground. We can hear birds chirping, the wind whistling, and other nature noises. Becca and Tiffany wake up and exit their tent first. The pair share a brief but heartfelt kiss before Tiffany goes to use the restroom. Mickey wakes up next and exits their tent. Their hair is a mess, and there are sleep marks on their face.
Morning.
You look like you slept well.
I passed out as soon as my head hit the pillow. Had this weird ass dream though.
Becca reaches down to touch her toes as she hums curiously. Tiffany comes back from the bathroom, but hangs back just out of view to listen.
I was an animal? I think maybe a hawk? I couldn't really tell, but I was flying around and around and around above something weird. I was shrieking and screaming for help and no one could hear me. And I couldn't look at the thing below me either. If I tried, my vision would get blurry and I'd feel sick. All I remember is that it stunk real bad.
Huh. That is a weird ass dream.
Right. I wonder if it means anything?
Maybe the things below you are the responsibilities you keep ignoring, and it stinks because, you got to deal with them eventually, but keep putting them off.
Maybe.
You wouldn't also happen to be ignoring your mom, would you?
Hey,
No.
I'm not speaking to her until she apologizes.
Tiffany's phone rings from her pocket. She ignores it.
I think that's why she keeps calling you, Tiff.
Becca hugs Tiffany, who has taken out her phone and angrily pressed ignore call.
Take as much time as you need, love. It's all good. Your mom can wait.
Chad exits the tent in a chipper, upbeat mood.
Hello, everybody. It's our first official day camping, y'all.
Why don't we go hiking after breakfast?
Hiking? Hell yeah.
Mickey and Chad start setting up for breakfast. Becca and Tiffany take a few moments to themselves to check in and support each other. Then they help the others set up for breakfast.
Did Kenny go fishing?
I think so. He wasn't in the tent when I woke up.
Make food for him?
I'd say maybe not. Maybe he cooked something for himself earlier. Plus, we'd have no way to keep the food hot. He'll probably be fishing most of the day.
Damn. Guess we'll see him later then.
Those poor fish.
How about we play more Texas Hold'em while we wait?
Oh, God.
Sure. It's about time I kicked your ass, Bex.
Chad cooks a vegan breakfast, and the other human visitors set up for Texas Hold'em. Meanwhile, in the Deschutes Animal Association meeting grounds, Mike has called an emergency meeting. Jacob and Hannah perch cuddled up together on a low-hanging branch. Mauve stands annoyed off to the side of a sizable rock. Mike perches on a rock with Chelsea pacing nervously on the other side. Ted the bear is resting in a patch of grass. His eyes are half open, but he is paying attention. Two of the chipmunks, Benson and Chica, lay on top of him, also dozing off.
Mike, we have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow.
We need to confront and deal with the issue we've been sweeping under the rug for so long. Now.
Really? We're sweeping it under the rug? Frankly, I think we should leave the human issues to the humans. It's none of our damn business.
But it affects us and the rest of the forest.
I've been able to live my life just fine. And people clearly still want to move here. As far as I'm concerned, we're meeting the goal of the association. The livability of the forest is fine. Stop wasting our time with your hero complex, Mike.
Hero complex? A killer murders every human who dares stay in the forest for more than a couple hours, and you say I have a hero complex for thinking it's an issue? What is wrong with you?
Leave her alone.
Shut the fuck up, intern.
Does anyone smell that?
Don't talk to him that way.
If he's not going to say anything useful, he should keep his mouth shut. Stop ignoring
Mike,
me.
you need to calm down.
Seriously? We shouldn't be calm about this. The killer has taken it too far this time.
Mike, if you want to tell us how the killer has taken it too far this time, please let us know calmly. We can't listen if you're freaking out.
I can't fucking believe you.
Suddenly, Sandy bursts through the bushes from the hiking trail. She is out of breath and freaked out. When she sees Chelsea, she screams and hides behind Ted, who has fully woken up. Benson and Chica come out to comfort Sandy.
Murderer!
I didn't kill anyone.
You killed him. Blood's on your hands.
Sandy, what are you talking about?
This cougar's a killer. I seen it with my own eyes. Back along the trail, she left a mangled, bloody mess in her wake.
Murderer! Get out of here, forest killer!
I knew I smelled something weird.
The members of the Animal Association turn their attention to Chelsea. The chipmunks are hostile. Ted is curious. Hannah and Jacob are smug. Mauve is unreadable.
This is what I was trying to say earlier. The killer has gone too far. He tried to cover this
Mike,
up.
stop talking. I want to hear from Chelsea. Why should we believe you're not a killer?
Chelsea glares at Mauve nervously.
I don't kill humans. I never have.
Seen the bite marks on their neck.
Sounds like how you creatures killed me.
I'm inclined to agree.
Unlike the rodent that you're choosing to believe, I saw the murder. Mike did too. A human did it. The camper was out smoking when the killer came out from the bushes. The killer stabbed the camper so many fucking times, I lost count. If your noble association folk would actually do your jobs, you would go and check the fucking body. You will see stab marks in the back. You will also see human bite marks, not from a cougar. I watched the psycho bite the victim on the back of the fucking neck.
I saw it too.
I refuse to take the blame for something that I didn't do. Either you all go check the body yourself or go fuck off.
It's part of the process, Mauve. We can't just persecute someone without seeing all the evidence.
You have a point. Sandy, where did you see the body?
She's trying to lure us over here. Mike's in on it too.
Sandy, tell them where you found the body. Then we can go investigate the campsite while they check out the scene.
The victim is by the hiking trail entrance, close to the cougar warning sign. I ain't going back. Ted, the chipmunks, and I are going to the campsite.
Yay! Camp!
I'm not going anywhere with that beast.
Fuck you.
We'll just be heading out then.
The chipmunks quickly pile onto Ted's back as he speaks. He starts hastily retreating towards the campsite.
Oh yeah, just leave like you always do.
They've got the right idea. Just banish the cougar and let us go on with our day, Mauve.
She can't do that without an investigation, you asshole. Besides, we don't need those stupid rats. I know where the murder scene is.
Mauve, let's go.
We're not going anywhere. I vote we impeach Mike and expel him from the board for this. Who's with me?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
Go to the fucking place, figure it out.
Hey,
I
I
understand
am
that you
so
Hey,
done.
get off your ass.
Everybody shut up and calm down. Now,
Just as Mauve is about to lay down a plan of action for the group, we hear the piercing scream of Tiffany. The human visitors are in the Deschutes National Forest at the entrance of the hiking trail. They all stand in front of the murder scene. Becca is staring wide-eyed at the scene, frozen. Tiffany grabs her hair frantically as she continues to scream again and again. She slowly backs away from the scene before turning around and bolting towards camp. The sound of Tiffany running away jolts Becca from her stupor. As if slowly coming out of a trance, Becca turns and follows after Tiffany. Mickey is in the middle of throwing up in the bushes. Chad is rubbing their back. Neither is looking at Kenny, and neither seems to process that Tiffany and Becca have run back to camp without them. Back at the Deschutes Animal Association meeting grounds, Ted and the Chipmunks have successfully avoided confronting the issue. The remaining members all stare at Mauve intensely.
You all heard the human scream too. We can't delay anymore. Let's go.
This is a complicated issue. Historically, our association has deemed human issues outside the scope of our organization.
Bullshit.
Mike, do not interrupt me. As I was saying, usually we don't get involved with the tribulations of humans, but this situation seems to merit an exception.
Motherfucker.
Hannah, I am the president of the association, and you will listen to me. Now everyone, stop interrupting. This situation, if the evidence presents itself as Mike and Chelsea say, is different. Allegedly, this human killer has involved an animal in their affairs and staged this murder as a cougar attack. We have two witnesses, Mike and Chelsea, who claim to have seen this occur. Sandy, another witness, claims that Chelsea slaughtered the human and the killer was not involved. No matter whose story is true, this is no longer a strictly human issue. It's now within the scope of our organization and has the potential to affect the livability of our forest. We must investigate promptly.
Oh, come on, Mauve.
I'm calling the shot, Hannah. Mike, Chelsea, lead the way. Hannah, Jacob, follow me.
Thank you, Mauve.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Let's go.
Chelsea and Mike lead the other Animal Association members to the scene of the murder. Back at the campsite, Ted is devouring the food in the cooler. Benson is stacked on top of Chica and trying to open the four-person tent. Sandy lounges on the picnic table.
The gadgets will be mine! Reach more high!
Benson reaches a little bit higher and is finally able to open the four-person tent. Both him and Chica tumble inside.
We'll have the best food.
For a few moments, the animals continue their activities. Then Tiffany enters the scene. She stops in her tracks. Sandy bolts up.
What the fuck? Is that a fucking bear?
What's it to you?
Tiffany is flabbergasted that a bear just spoke to her.
All right, there's no need to be so loud.
Stop screaming. Stop screaming.
Benson, who has the human visitor's car keys dangling around his neck, and Chica pop their heads out of the tent.
What's going on?
What the fuck is going on?
Camping!
I want to go home.
Tiffany runs off stage right into the Deschutes National Forest. The animals look after her in shock, then look at each other.
Hope she makes it home.
Unlikely.
The animals go back to their respective actions. Benson and Chica should be throwing various items outside the tent in their hunt for gadgies. Becca runs on stage. The sight of the animals stops her in her tracks.
Not again.
I'm the alpha. I'm on top. Get the fuck out of my campsite.
While she says this, Becca waves her arms around wildly. She puffs out her chest and starts to do what she thinks are scary predator moves. She's so loud that she doesn't register the animals speaking.
No way.
Ted lumbers up and starts to hastily retreat toward the forest.
Time to go, y'all.
Sandy leaps from the picnic table and into the four-person tent quickly. In the blink of an eye, she's pushing Benson and Chica out. They dash after Ted, who exited. During this time, Becca is screaming, roaring, and making other loud noises. She is waving her arms around and jumping up and down.
To the forest now.
The other chipmunks exit.
The other human went this way.
Becca does not hear her. Once the campsite is empty, Becca stops her wild movements. She continues making loud noises for a bit longer until she finally stops.
Tiffany?
Becca calls Tiffany's name a few times frantically. Just as she begins to panic, she hears Tiffany's scream that seems to cut off as quickly as it began. Tiffany runs through the Deschutes National Forest. She is sobbing, confused, and keeps stumbling on tree roots. She is covered in dirt. After a moment of running, Tiffany trips and falls over a shrub.
Fucking forest, I hate it here.
Tiffany sits for a moment where she has fallen. Her knee is skinned. She starts to sob again. Slowly, she picks herself back up and wipes her tears. She looks around.
How the fuck do I get home?
Tiffany is completely lost. She tries to find a familiar tree or plant. As she's searching, the killer enters silently from the trees. They grab her by the hair and the back of the head and effortlessly lift her into the air. Tiffany flails and thrashes around uselessly. Tiffany starts to scream, but the killer quickly slashes her throat. Then they pull her body against theirs and bite her aggressively on the back of the neck. The killer dresses the scene as a cougar attack and then melts away. Meanwhile, Mickey and Chad sit on a fallen log in the Deschutes National Forest, unaware of Tiffany's murder. They're close to Kenny's body, but not looking at it. They should pass a joint back and forth during this conversation.
Chad.
Yeah, Mickey.
This was what my dream was about.
You think?
What else could it have been?
Huh.
I've had dreams like this before. One time I had this terrifying dream that. So my mom drives around town for work. She's a building inspector. And in my dream, she was driving to a site when her car got T-boned by another car. And she had to go to the hospital. I was watching her from above again, like a hawk. I woke up sweating and terrified. I spent the morning calming myself down, telling myself it was just a dream.
And?
For a day, it was just a dream. Then I got a call from the hospital.
Yeah.
Thank God my mom was okay, just some minor scrapes and bruises. The EMTs couldn't believe it.
That's lucky.
I know.
Do you think Tiffany or Becca called the Rangers?
Maybe.
Should we call them?
Do you have a signal?
Chad checks their cell phone. There is no signal.
You?
No.
Should we go back to camp?
Let's wait a little longer. Make sure nothing messes with Kenny.
Okay.
Ted, Benson, Chica, and Sandy arrive at the scene of Tiffany's murder. Ted slows down but keeps moving. He avoids looking at the body. Chica stands and gawks. Benson moves to inspect the body. but Sandy stops him.
Don't touch the crime scene, Benson. We gotta tell him what the cougar did.
But ain't she with the others?
That's what she wants us to believe. But she's really been here killing.
Benson is staring at the body intensely.
I don't think cougars wash necks like this, Sandy.
Well, it is getting late. I'm going to head home.
Ted starts heading home. Sandy blocks his way.
Ted, you gotta help us.
No. I have to go home.
Ted tries to go around Sandy, but she cuts him off.
We can't let another predator stay here, especially since she's a killer.
Ted gently noses Sandy out of the way.
You all can take it from here. Benson, Chica, help Sandy tell the others.
Ted exits deeper into the Deschutes National Forest.
So you only cared about the food, huh?
Chica comes up to comfort Sandy.
It'll be okay.
Chica tries to hug Sandy, but Sandy pushes her off.
It'll be us next. She'll get tired of killing Manson and kill us next.
Benson is nervously fiddling with his car key necklace.
This... You won't like to hear it, but... This don't seem like a cougar attack. Look at the neck.
You've seen the claws on the cougar. It's gotta be her.
The association won't let her stay here.
Mike's already on her side. Won't be long before the others are too.
Sandy stares at Benson, who avoids her eyes and looks nervously at the body. After a long moment,
We gotta tell them what we've seen here. They'll believe us.
Banish the cougar killer.
the Chipmunks exit towards where Kenny was murdered. Night falls. Becca runs from the campsite into the Deschutes National Forest. She is heading in the direction of Tiffany's scream. She is panicking, which makes her painstakingly slow and unsteady. She is also tripping over tree roots and shrubs.
Tiffany? Tiff? Where are you?
With one scream to go off of, Becca is lost.
Tiffany!
She slows her pace and continues to call for
Tiff!
Tiffany. She gets more
Tiff!
desperate each moment. After a long while of picking her way through the
Tiffany!
woods, Becca finds Tiffany.
Tiff.
Becca rushes over to Tiffany's body and crumbles down beside her. Heaving sobs rack her body as she pulls Tiffany into her arms. Becca brushes the hair off Tiffany's forehead and strokes her face. After a long while, Becca pulls her phone out while cradling Tiffany. As she dials 911, the killer emerges from the bushes behind her. As they go to grab her, Becca's head whips around. She locks eyes with the killer, though we can't see their face. She tries to set Tiffany down gently and slip away, but the killer is too fast. They kick Becca squarely in the face. Becca collapses, Tiffany's dead body still on top of her. The killer descends on her, stabbing Becca in the eye. The killer wrenches the knife out. We hear a wet squelching noise as Becca's eye pops out. The killer stabs her in the throat until she goes limp. The killer does not bother to dress the scene as a cougar murder. They melt into the darkness. Meanwhile, Chelsea, Mike, and the remaining Animal Association members arrive at the scene of Kenny's murder. They have been bickering the entire way, meaning that progress was slow.
Fucking finally.
Mike, who had been flying slightly ahead of the group, sees Mickey and Chad sitting near the scene.
There are live humans here. We must proceed with caution.
Let's just go.
It's our duty as an association to check out the scene. We'll wait for them to leave.
Hey,
We don't interfere with human affairs, Chelsea.
they interfere with our affairs all the fucking time.
Even so, we don't.
Becca's scream pierces through the night. The animals all perk their ears up and look in the direction of the scene.
Mauve, I'm going to warn the humans here. You can impeach me if you want, but it's the right thing to do.
Before Mauve can protest, Mike flies off toward the two remaining human visitors. Mickey and Chad have finished their joint. Suddenly, Becca's scream pierces through the night. Before the humans can react, Mike bursts out from the trees overhead the two humans.
You're in danger! Get out of here! Get in your vehicle now! Leave this place!
Chad fumbles for their cougar mace, finally grabs it, and brandishes it at Mike.
What?
Chad starts to spray at Mike with the cougar mace. Mike gets hit, screeches in pain, and turns around to fly gracelessly back into the forest.
Stay away from us!
I think it's gone.
The cougar mace really came in handy.
Yeah, I don't know if you needed to use it. Did you hear Becca scream?
Yeah.
And that hawk just spoke to us.
Yeah. Fucking creepy, Mickey. He's told us to leave.
It said we were in danger.
The two glance nervously at Kenny's body.
I think we should go.
What about Tiffany and Becca?
Maybe too late for them.
We can't just leave them.
They are already dead. All right.
What makes you so sure? We can't abandon them.
You heard Becca's blood-curdling scream. Nothing screamed, I'm alive about that.
Besides her breathing to scream?
It's Mickey. That breath was probably Becca's last. All right, we gotta go. Now, if our friends are still alive, we can help them by getting somewhere with signal and calling emergency services. Becca screamed for a reason, and that reason is still out here somewhere. They will kill us too. Please, Mickey.
All right.
The pair slowly gets up off the tree trunk. They turn towards where Kenny's body is laid.
I'm so sorry, Ken.
We'll come back. All right, with rangers, we'll get help for him and Becca and Tiffany, and we'll bring them to their families.
Yes.
The pair look at one another for a moment, look around at the forest one last time, and then start to head swiftly towards the campsite. Though the pair are quick, it's clear that Mickey outpaces Chad by a lot. Chad starts to lose Mickey on their way.
Hey, Mickey, wait up, please.
As Mickey, at a significant distance, whirls around, the killer grabs Chad and pulls them into the bushes. Chad lets out a terrified scream as the killer stabs him multiple times. After a few moments of noise and chaos, the killer rolls Chad's dismembered head onto the hiking path. Mickey screams and turns tail toward camp. The killer follows. Mickey bursts out from Lake Paulina path and into the campsite. They barely register that the scene is a mess. Mickey starts desperately searching for car keys. They are nowhere to be found. After a few moments, the killer enters the scene. Mickey whips their head to face the killer. Night falls. Mike, Chelsea, Mauve, Hannah, and Jacob are torn over how to proceed. Mike's eyes are red and puffy because of the cougar spray. In their bickering, they do not notice Mickey and Chad running away from the scene of Kenny's murder. They also do not notice Chad's murder.
Maybe you should have listened when we told you not to interfere with the humans.
Fuck off.
Can't believe they attacked you like that. You were only trying to help.
Why are you being such an asshole? We just heard the killer strike again, and I'm the only damn one who's trying to do something instead of blaming an innocent.
This still doesn't explain the first killing. Maybe the beast and the human are working together.
Fucking serious? Look at the bodies. I bet you'll see human-made wounds on all of them. What is your problem with me?
I don't want another predator in my forest. It's enough having Mike here.
Hey!
I tolerate you, Mike, because you grew up here, but I won't let a traveling beast just settle down here. Fuck that.
He has a point.
No, she fucking doesn't. The forest is for everyone. You can't dictate who stays where just because of their diet.
We can settle this later in an official meeting. The addition of a new predator to our woods could affect livability, making the decision within our jurisdiction. But we have more pressing matters to attend to.
Mauve looks at the scene of Kenny's murder.
It seems the living humans left.
Mauve walks over to Kenny's body and starts to investigate the site. She notices the joint lodged in Kenny's throat and grimaces loudly. She turns the body over and sees the bite mark on the neck and the stab wounds in the back.
These are human bite marks. I don't think those other humans stand a chance.
The Chipmunk family enter from the Deschutes National Forest.
The cougar struck again.
Everyone turns to look at Sandy. She is a bit out of breath, but passionate.
We seen the cougar's second victim back in the forest.
He's been here the whole time.
Sandy, you're saying you found another body?
Yeah, with the same bite marks as this one. This cougar is a liar and vicious. She'll kill us if we let her stay.
She's a killer!
But I have had time to go secretly off and kill another human with everyone here.
Sandy, Chica, Chelsea has been with us the whole time. She can't have killed that human.
She's lying.
Sandy, I know seeing two human bodies can be tough and you're worried about having another predator in the forest, but it's not an excuse to blame someone. We've just concluded our investigation here and Chelsea did not commit this murder. My hunch is that if the bite marks are the same as you say, Chelsea didn't commit the murder you're accusing her of.
I don't want no cougar killer in our forest.
She's scary. She'll kill us.
That won't happen. While Chelsea is innocent, we won't banish her from the forest. But your concerns as residents will be heard. I'm calling a meeting for tomorrow to discuss Chelsea's future here. It'll be in the afternoon.
Everyone grumbles for a few moments before Mickey's scream pierces through the air.
I'm going to help this human. Who's with me?
Go ahead. I won't. Jacob, Chipmunks, let's go back.
Hannah begins to fly away. The chipmunks follow her. Jacob stays put. Hannah turns around to give him a look.
What?
She didn't kill them. She's innocent, like Mike said.
Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. She's still a predator and will kill you in a moment's notice. As for the humans, I don't give a flying fuck what happens to them. I'm going back. I'm over this.
Hannah exits. Jacob looks panicked for a moment before following after her.
Hannah!
The three remaining animals stare after them and then look at one another.
If we head to the campsite now, we might be able to save the human.
I don't think so.
I want to fuck up that bastard for framing me for all this.
Then let's go.
You two do what you will. I've seen enough to know the Kruger is innocent.
She exits. Chelsea and Mike immediately exit toward the campsite. Meanwhile, the killer, still hidden by shadows, advances quickly toward Mickey. Mickey looks around and sees a kitchen knife laying on the floor. They lunge toward the weapon and narrowly miss being stabbed by the killer. Mickey scoops up the knife and shakily brandishes it toward the killer.
Fuck off!
As they shout the warning, Mickey continues to step backwards. The killer takes quick strides to close the distance, but remains out of the knife's range.
I will fucking kill you!
The killer remains silent. Suddenly, the killer lunges forward, and Mickey lets out a yelp while slashing forcefully at the air with their knife. Though Mickey stumbles back a bit, the slashing pauses the killer for a moment. Mickey and the killer resituate themselves at the same time. The killer lunges for Mickey again, more aggressively than before. They're focused on getting the knife out of Mickey's hands. Mickey forcefully thrusts their knife towards the killer's stomach. The killer slams their fist into Mickey's wrist. We hear a heavy thud, but Mickey does not let go of the knife. The killer delivers a solid punch to Mickey's stomach. They stagger backwards and try not to collapse. The killer aims an uppercut at Mickey's head. Mickey barely manages to avoid it. Then Mickey successfully slashes the killer's side. They follow it up with an elbow to the wound. The killer staggers a bit. Mickey attempts to move away, but the killer kicks their leg. Mickey stumbles forward, but just barely manages to catch themselves. The killer is right behind Mickey and grabs them by the neck. Mickey screams. The killer begins to lift them into the air. Mickey slashes upward with the knife and catches the killer's arm. The killer drops Mickey. Mickey stumbles away, gasping for air. Mickey quickly turns around, knife in front of them.
Why are you doing this?
The killer remains silent, slowly prowling towards Mickey. The killer is growling. Mickey continues to step back.
What kind of sick freak are you?
Mickey's paces slow down as they speak. The killers do not.
You killed all my friends. You want to kill me. What do you get out of this? Show your goddamn face!
The killer lunges again, this time slightly to Mickey's left. Before Mickey can react, the killer grabs their knife-wielding hand and twists it behind their back. Mickey screams. They attempt to stomp on the killer's feet, but miss. Mickey continues to squirm and fight. The killer pulls Mickey's arm higher up their back. The knife drops. We hear a cracking sound. Mickey moans in pain, but continues to thrash desperately. The killer pulls Mickey's body close to them as they pull their mask up over their mouth. The killer inhales heavily, starting to salivate. The killer bites down on Mickey's neck violently. Mickey shrieks and slams their head back. Mickey's head collides with the killer's nose. We hear a crack. The killer releases Mickey as blood seeps from their nose. Mickey falls forward into the dirt. Mickey starts to crawl away without putting any weight on their broken arm. The killer wipes blood from their nose as they stride easily to Mickey. The killer kicks Mickey forward. Mickey collapses. The killer begins to kick Mickey hard in the ribs and head. Mickey's moans and whimpers start to get softer and softer until they are silent. The killer continues kicking for a while before they stop. They crouch down on all fours and sniff Mickey's neck. They bite down viciously again, tearing flesh. The killer begins to eat Mickey when Mike and Chelsea burst out from the Lake Paulina pathway into the campsite. Chelsea immediately hurls herself at the killer. She knocks them off Mickey and pins them down. The killer starts panting. Chelsea growls down at them and bares her fangs.
Listen, Psycho, you are gonna stop this shit, or I will kill you.
The killer's breath catches, and they let out a moan.
You're a fucking freak, you know that?
The killer moans again.
God, stop moaning, it's disgusting.
The killer pants.
Fucking stop!
The killer continues panting and moaning.
I swear to fucking God.
The killer gets louder and doesn't show any signs of stopping. Chelsea, in a fit of rage, clamps down on the killer's throat with her teeth and rips. For a moment, Chelsea goes wild.
Chelsea! Chelsea.
I don't kill humans.
I wouldn't call that a human.
Mike, please help me. Please.
Okay. You'll need to follow my instructions exactly.
Okay.
No questions, no suggestions, just do as you're told.
Thank you so much.
Don't thank me. This is not a good thing we're doing, but we're doing it. Welcome home, Chelsea.
The Deschutes Animal Association Board meeting. All members in attendance. Chelsea the cougar is also in attendance. Regarding the matter of animals witnessing forest murders and of Chelsea staying in the Deschutes National Forest.
And so, due to the clearly human bite marks on the neck and stab wounds in the back of the first human victim, we can be assured that Chelsea, the cougar in question, did not commit the first murder. After these findings, witness number 1, Sandy, informed the board that the cougar had allegedly killed another victim. With guidance from the witness, the board investigated the second crime scene. Upon arrival, we discovered victim 2 and, surprisingly, a third victim. The board discovered human bite marks and a knife slash on the neck of the second victim. Chelsea did not commit the second murder. Anyhow, the board also discovered human bite marks on the neck and upper body of the third victim. The third victim also had stab wounds on the eye and neck. This means Chelsea also did not commit the third murder. The next day, the board investigated the area on a tip from Mike and found fourth and fifth victims. The fourth had its head cleanly sliced off by a knife. Since Chelsea does not have thumbs, we conclude that she could not have committed the fourth murder. The fifth was particularly gruesome, but did not criminalize Chelsea. So we can conclude that Chelsea is not responsible for any of the human murders.
Boo! Boo!
This is an official meeting, and while folks can feel upset, they cannot interrupt the delivery of facts. Now, as I was saying, Chelsea did not commit any murders, thus releasing her from the responsibility of action and its consequences. The question still remains, however, whether Chelsea should remain in the Deschutes National Forest or move along.
Mauve.
Mike, I'm not finished. While the question remains, we should put it to a vote. The issue affects the livability of the forest. All those in favor of Chelsea remaining in the forest say aye. And that is the majority. Chelsea, welcome to the Deschutes National Forest.
Woohoo! Yes!
On to the final topics. No one in the forest has seen any sign of the human killer. If anyone sees anything suspicious, please report it to me or Hannah. Finally, Chelsea and Mike have volunteered to clean up the campsite and bodies. We expect that to be completed by the next board meeting next month. Does anyone have any last minute things to bring up? Motion to adjourn?
First.
Second.
So, adjourned.
After a moment of silence, we hear the sound of a different car engine getting louder before it parks. We hear faint human mumbling and laughter.
No. No, go back to sleep. Sorry, I have to go to sleep.
Hello. How do I get on it on the YouTube? Am I here? Oh, hello.
Sorry, I have to go to sleep.
Okay. Hello everybody. I'm Zoe. My partner fell asleep during the show, but it's all good because we were comfy and watching. Yeah, I'm Zoe. I use they them pronouns.
Hello.
I live in Portland, Oregon, and I'm here to answer some questions. How do I get on it on the YouTube? Am I here? Oh, hello. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, so let's go up from the top. Let's see. I have a question from Kyle Dodson. So Kyle asks, what was your main inspiration for this play? And my main inspiration for this play was a couple things. The first time I ever went camping was actually at the Deschutes National Forest in Paulina Lake. I really enjoyed that. And then I've had this idea for doing like a slasher play, but having the animals, having it told from the perspective of animals in a forest, watching the humans get murdered. I've had that idea since like sophomore year of college. So the camping trip to Paulina Lake kind of solidified, oh, I can have it take place here. And then Imaginarium had their writing workshop, applied, got in, and I was like, I should actually write this. Yeah, and then Christian asks, what were some of the influences behind the writing and or direction of the play? I'd say just the thought of like slashers in general. So like Scream, Friday the 13th, etc. And not gonna lie, I'm not like the biggest fan of slashers because they freak me out. Not really a big fan of blood and gore, which I wrote a play about blood and gore. So that's kind of ironic, but yeah, I just wanted to add to that genre because I think it's super iconic. And I wanted to put a little twist to it. Non-binary characters were added because I'm non-binary, so that's it's like necessary for me. Yeah, and the next question, again from Kyle. Kyle says, did I have an ending in mind already, or was that something that came out of the writer's workshop? It did come out of the writer's workshop. I was really torn over a couple of things. I didn't know whether I wanted Mickey to live or to die. And then I also was like, do I want it to be cyclical? So do I want more humans to come around? And all of that I worked through with Marisa, Russell, and the folks in my group, and figured it out, really hammered out the details. I still have some things that I kind of want to work on, but yeah. Ella asks, what made you choose each of the animals? Like why chipmunks and hawks and cougars? I was kind of thinking of animals that I saw while I was camping. So there was a night where we went to Paulina Lake and we were watching, the moon was rising and it was super beautiful. And we came back, and as we're coming back, there's this deer staring at us, and we kind of lock eyes and have a moment, and then we keep walking because we're like, well, this deer's gonna go about its business. So that's why I chose a deer. I was like, I've seen a deer, and the chipmunks are super friendly at Paulina Lake, so I was like, I have to have chipmunks in there. I kind of just up animals that were in Oregon. I was like, I'll write these animals in. And then Imaginarium asks, which playwrights inspire me the most? That is a hard question, and I'm going to out myself a little bit by saying I don't read a lot of plays. I had a period in college where I was reading plays all the time, but now I basically just read like academic things. I've been really into bell hooks lately. That's not answering the question. I'd say that my inspiration in terms of writing style mostly comes from like whatever I'm reading at the moment. And also just how I speak. But I am on the hunt for non-binary playwrights. So if anybody has any suggestions, drop them in the chat. You can also send them to me on Instagram. It's ZoeECarina. So Zoe Karina. Yeah, I don't have like a list of names. But yeah. So if there's no other questions, next Russell's play is coming up next. Oh, and there is another question. I'm excited for Russell's play. Ella asks, how many plays have I written? This is the first one that's been read to an audience. I've written things since I was in elementary school. But plays I started writing in college. Because novels are too long for me, but short stories are too short. So I was looking for a happy medium, and that's kind of where plays, and specifically one-act plays, came into my life and really settled me down as a playwright. I don't know. I still write a lot of different kinds of stuff, but to specifically answer your question, one written play, and then I have a whole bunch of like half-finished plays. Yeah. that's kind of all I've got. I do have a play that I'm in the process of working on, but it's nowhere near ready. So maybe you'll see it sometime. But anyway, if there are no other questions, I'm gonna hop off this Zoom. Thank you all. Oh, there's another question has popped up. Okay. So I guess, so this will be the last question and then I'll pop off. I'll just be very clear about it. So this is another one from Kyle. And Kyle asks, is there a certain way that you visualize this on a stage? Yeah, so the reading was really great in that it helped me hear a lot of the stuff. And I'm like gonna put this away for a minute and then in a couple months pick it back up and do a lot of edits and things that I heard from this reading. But for seeing it on the stage, I really pictured like if you've ever been to a theme park, and I grew up in Florida, so there were a lot of theme parks. I just saw a comment from Ren, the director. Love you too. It was super great to work with you. Back to the question. Distracted all the time. Yeah, so I visualize the audience sitting in the middle, and these seats are mechanized. So like a theme park roller coaster ride, like a cart from one of those rides that you get into, and you can the seats can swivel 360 degrees, and the Deschutes National Forest will be all wrapped around the audience, and there will be the campsite. You won't see Lake Paulina, but you will see a bunch of the woods. You'll see the hiking path, the cougar warning sign, etc. And then you'll just be moving around from these mechanical seats from scene to scene. Yeah, I think it would be super cool to see this put up, but with COVID and everything, it's difficult. So I'm super glad that Imaginarium put up this virtual reading. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you stick around for Russell's play that'll be coming up shortly. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming, and thank you so much to the actors and Imaginarium and Ren and everybody for just helping me turn my little idea into a virtual reading. It's been super great. Yeah, thank you. Bye, everybody.
And, I've been pushed, punched, and verbally harangued by these things. I don't know how my little heart has been able to take it. I clean up this place every weekday. I take care of the lawn. Sometimes I even pray for them. But do they show me any appreciation? Not an ounce. They won't show themselves. I've asked, God forbid they be cordial and have a conversation. Hence why I needed your more drastic measures. Happy hunting! Give it one from me!
Edith Boeing?
Yes. Though I'm surprised you could read it, given the state it's in.
Groundskeeper said some college kids did this.
Mm-hmm. Did they mention they had help?
I don't mean to tell you how to do your job, but did you actually fight any of the spirits?
Nope.
So what? You were just talking?
Yep.
Is that all you have to say? How is that going to help? What about our ghost problem?
Simple. I'm going to call your boss to get a security camera and suggest you be fired.
Fired? Why?
Because you seem to think you're running a nightclub.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
I mean, the spirits attacked you because you let the local college kids throw parties here. Worse, you charge a fee to let them in. This is a place of rest. You get that, right? Try not to piss off any spirits at your next job. Not all of them are as nice as the ones here. I'm taking this umbrella. You're fine with it.
That was my good umbrella!
What do you want, Jimbo?
Is that any way to greet an old friend?
You think we're friends?
Corey, that hurts my little feelings. Still, it's good to hear your voice. It's been too long.
Did you seriously call me just to chit-chat?
Actually, I do have a job for you, if you're willing to take it.
I'm not with your agency anymore. Get one of your psychics to do it.
Ah, I did send one of mine. Hasn't checked in recently, and he's not answering calls.
You're asking me to go on a rescue mission.
It'd be nice to know if he were alive, sure. But if he is dead, you'd get his commission for finishing the job.
Your empathy is truly moving. So what makes you think he's dead? Because he didn't answer your calls? Nobody likes answering your calls.
Ah, that's true. But this kid was a real tryhard. He basically begged me for this gig. Gave me hourly updates, did all his own research on the location. When a guy like that goes dark, it's never for a pleasant reason.
You should have more faith in your people. Any psychic working for you will be able to hold their own.
What's with the hesitancy? You're working a case right now? Did you quit the game?
None of your business.
Just do me this one favor. It'll be worth your while. The payout's fat on this gig. And if the kid I sent is still alive, I'll throw some cash your way for old time's sake.
What's the job?
Be brave, Barnaby. Be brave. Is that?
Evening. How's it going?
Bad? How about you?
Been worse.
Must be nice. Need a room?
Maybe. Hear you have a ghost problem.
Damn right. You with the King Agency?
Not anymore. I'm just here to check on the psychic they sent.
They never sent a psychic.
Never sent one.
They were supposed to be here 2 weeks ago. Guess the stories scared them off.
What are the stories? I'm guessing you've seen some stuff working here?
Of course, I'm a part owner. Been working here all my life. The ghosts have been here even longer. Hell, they used to attract customers. Till that guy got possessed.
Possessed?
I didn't even know we had demons. But the one that got that guy did a lot of damage. Killed 3 guests and busted up rooms so bad, we're still trying to fix them. Since then, half the staff quit and no one's come here to stay.
Well, you got your first customer. And I'll take care of this demon for you.
thought you said you weren't with the agency.
Which means I'll take half of what Jimbo King was charging you.
Ha! Damn, you either love hunting demons or hate Jimbo.
Both.
Works for me. You okay waiting an hour or two so we can get a room ready?
Fine by me. That bar across the street any good?
It's cheap, and it's got one of those electric jukeboxes.
Now you're speaking my language.
Fair warning, there's been some creep hanging around outside there recently.
I'll be fine.
Thanks.
What'll it be?
Surprise me. And keep the change.
You got it.
So, you're the psychic Jimbo sent, huh? You know, the job could have been done by now if you actually went inside the hotel.
I have gone inside! I mean, I've walked around the perimeter.
How's hot toddy? My specialty. Perfect for a cool autumn night.
Appreciate it. Damn, that's good. So, what's your name, kid?
Barnaby. Barnaby Jones. First generation psychokinetic looking to make a name for myself in the field of ghost hunting.
Good to meet you, Barnaby. I'm...
You're Karina Flores, a 2-star ghost hunter and one of the only people on Earth with the ability to use spirit emblems. You've helped countless ghosts move on to the afterlife, and you've exorcised over 150 demons. You're a Gemini with a blood type.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down. Jimbo was right. You are a tryhard.
Thanks. Wait, Jimbo sent you here? Are you back with the agency?
No, he just wanted to make sure you weren't dead.
Aww, that's so sweet.
And if you were, I'd get your commission to finish the gig.
Oh, I see.
So what's it gonna be?
Huh?
You doing this job, or am I?
I mean, it's my job.
You've been here for 2 weeks and haven't done anything. The people who own that hotel need help. The spirits being held captive there need it too. I'm guessing this is your first demon. That can be pretty intimidating, but the job needs to get done. So what'll it be? You gonna fight that thing, or will I?
I can't use my powers.
What?
Well, not consistently anyway. They kind of come and go. All the other psychics at the agency have pool going for when I get killed. That's why I wanted this job, to prove that I could...
Say no more. So, you need a bit of mentoring. That's no problem. I've been looking for a way to get back at those agency assholes. This will have their jaws on the floor. Want me to show you the ropes?
Seriously? You do that?
Not for free, I want half the commission.
Half?
I think that's a fair rate for keeping you alive. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I guess. Besides, if it means working with the great Karina Flores, then...
Stop using my full name. Corey's fine.
You got it. Let's hunt us a demon.
I'm gonna finish my drink first.
Huh? Oh, I get it. Lesson 1. A psychic must never be wasteful.
Maybe you should finish yours too. Loosen you up a bit.
Well, if it isn't my hero and creep from the bar.
He's your psychic that never showed.
That right. Well, there's no way you're getting tipped now.
We get tips?
Is the room ready?
Not quite. The spirits keep messing it up no matter how many times we clean it.
That's fine. I'll take care of it once I get up there.
What about you, Pipsqueak? Need a room?
I'm okay. I'm at the motel down the road.
You're really trying to get on my bad side, aren't you?
I'm sorry, that motel doesn't have a demon in it.
The demon is why you're here in the first place.
Okay, this has been fun. Room key, please.
Sure, here you go. If you need anything else, let me know.
Actually, you and the rest of the staff should get out while you can. This could get messy.
Messy?
You don't have to tell me twice. I'll get the others and lock you in. Here's the skeleton key in case you need it.
Perfect. Which room was the possessed man staying in?
332. Not even the staff goes in there now.
Got it. We'll start there. Barnaby?
Well, what? Wait, how messy is this gonna get?
Good luck, bar creep. You're going to need it.
Corey, wait!
Looks like 332 is at the end of this hallway.
Cool. Cool. So, how do I use my powers?
What?
How do I use my powers? Well, I know how to use them when they're there, so how do I activate them, I guess?
I don't know.
You don't know? But you said you'd show me the ropes.
Yeah, of working a case. I use spirit emblems. I don't know how psychokinetics use their powers.
Oh, I see.
One of your powers worked before. Is there a pattern you recognize?
A pattern? Not really. The first time they activated was on my 8th birthday. My dad showed up with his new girlfriend, and I was so upset I didn't even notice I was making the cake levitate.
What other times have you used them?
Once when I got bit by a snake, the time that I crashed my car, and when the guy who gave me my first kiss cheated on me.
So your powers are connected to your emotions somehow. Your negative ones, anyway.
I guess so.
Then you'll be fine. Nothing more emotional than combating a demon. Once you do it enough times, using your powers should become second nature to you.
Really? Cool. So, how do your spirit emblems work?
No more questions. It's time to work.
Do you see anything?
It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you.
Who are you talking to?
Yes, it's okay. He's friendly.
Whoa.
Please, help me.
What's your name?
Mary,
I'm Corey. It's nice to meet you.
please, help me.
I will. What lives in this room with you?
My brother. Once,
Once?
he and I got sick here long ago. One day, we felt better, but gone. But we had each other. We were happy. Then, the beast came.
The beast.
He came from the floor, told us not to fear him. He said he could give us the power to leave this place, but only if we did him a favor. My brother agreed. He made my brother possess a man. He killed people. The beast is gone, but my brother can't leave till the deal is done.
That's awful.
What was the beast's deal? What did he want you to do?
He wanted brother to possess a guest of the hotel. He had to kill at least 3 normal people. Now he must kill 1 psychic.
He has to kill a psychic?
Where is your brother now?
Basement, he hides, attacks anyone who approaches.
I understand. Do you want your brother back?
More than anything.
Then I'll go get him.
I don't know about this.
It's fine. Sucks that we have to walk all the way to the basement after coming up here, but at least we're getting our steps in.
But the demon needs to kill a psychic. That means us.
So, risking your life is part of the gig, but that doesn't mean it's the only part. We learned 2 important pieces of information from Mary. 1, her brother transformed with the help of someone else, which happened because 2, the brother wasn't motivated by a lust for death or destruction, but by desperation.
Okay, how does that help us?
Ideally, it will expand our options beyond combat.
Lesson 2. During a mission, always look for an opportunity to expand your options beyond the need for combat. That's definitely not the philosophy of the King Agency. I can see why she left.
You coming?
Yeah, let's do this.
Do you feel your powers coming back?
No, not right now.
Then stay behind me and observe. Only interfere if you think your abilities return.
Gotcha, boss. Corey!
There you are. Show yourself.
This is a demon. Incredible.
So, you're Mary's brother. I'll take that as a yes. What are you doing down here? You can hear me, right? I asked what you were doing down here. Your sister's worried sick. Yeah, room 332. Mary, remember?
What are you doing? Fight back or that thing will kill you.
No, he won't. He doesn't stand a chance against me. I'm sorry, but it's true. I don't want to fight you anyway. I'm here to help.
No help unless you die.
I'm sure whatever turned you into this told you a lot of things, but it was a liar, a grifter trying to use you.
Use me?
Yep, he tried to make you something you're not. Told you hurting people was a path to freedom, but I can show you a different way out if you'll let me. A better way.
What are you talking about?
Yes, what are you talking about?
What the? My emblems won't work.
So, Corina Flores, we finally meet.
Am I supposed to know who you are?
No one's supposed to know who I am! Not even I fully understand myself, but folks who do know me call me the Traveler at your service.
Cute. I'm guessing you're the one who turned this kid into a demon.
No. He did that himself by accepting my offer.
Ugh, you're one of those guys.
Hey, what are you even doing here? The kid upstairs said you were long gone.
I have other projects to attend to, but I always make time for my works in progress. Also, who the hell are you?
I'm Barnaby Jones. And I'm not scared of you.
Tell that to your face! Corey, is this guy a boyfriend, a sidekick, or a pet?
None of the above, you freak. I'm a professional psychic.
Psychic, eh? Why don't I sense any power from you then?
Well...
Wait, can you not use your powers? That's hilarious! And convenient. Johnny here needs to kill a sidekick before I let him leave the hotel.
Kill him.
That's right, big guy.
You don't scare me.
Yeah, you said that already. Chop chop, demon kid. Or did you want to spend all of eternity in a basement?
Barnaby, it's okay, even beneficial to admit you're scared right now.
I'm not scared. I'm filled with riotous fury. And I'm going to use that fury to save you.
Oh, Barnaby.
Psycho kinetic attack!
So, what are you doing there? Is this some kind of abstract theater?
It's okay, Barnaby. You'll get him next time.
Sorry to poop on the party, but there is not going to be
Hey, kid? Yeah, you. Your name's John?
weird time for small talk.
Yes, John.
Good to meet you, John. Can you do me a favor and get this guy off me?
Seriously?
I told you there's a better way, John. I meant that.
He's a walking rage monster! He's not going to listen to you. In fact, rip the lady's head off, and you can walk out of here right now.
Her.
That's usually what happens when you decapitate a person. Chop chop, I don't have all day.
You don't have to do anything he's telling you to do. You don't have to be a killer.
You already are one! Might as well keep the streak going.
Don't do it, big guy, please!
It's your choice. What would your sister want?
Oh yeah, there's another brat in this place. Maybe I'll turn her into a demon once you're done with
Get away!
Thank you.
Woo! Take that, Shadow Guy!
Stupid, no-powered bastard. I ought to kill you and your whole family, you lich. This isn't over. I'll be back.
Hey!
Leave it alone.
We have to go after him.
If you can fit into that crack, have at it. But till then, let's go upstairs, John, if you're ready.
Don't want Mary to see me this way.
What? You look great.
She's going to be happy just to see you. I promise. Mary, you can come out. It's okay.
Mary,
John?
I am sorry.
Don't you love a happy ending?
Huh? I'm just happy the job is done.
You have a lot to learn, kid. But before that, how would you two like to leave the hotel?
You can do that?
Prison break.
I feel so light.
What did you do?
I used my newest spirit emblem to sever the ties that were keeping them here.
Does this mean that?
Yup. I don't have a power that can usher you to the afterlife, but at least now you won't be stuck here.
That's all
we ever wanted.
So, what's the story? How do we get paid?
You mean how did I get paid? I'm the one who got the commission.
So I have to go back to Jimbo with nothing? That's not fair.
You didn't do anything. Actually, you did worse than nothing.
What do you mean?
Your powers come from your negative emotions.
I thought so. I mean, I was pretty angry in there, but nothing happened.
You weren't angry. You were scared and you didn't acknowledge that.
What? Scared? No, I mean...
I'm giving you two options.
Options?
You can go back to the agency, not learn anything from this experience, and die a gruesome death with no one to mourn you but Jimbo's wallet.
Sounds bad.
Or you can come work with me.
Do you mean that?
You'd be an independent contractor, you wouldn't make much money, and I'm not an easy person to work with, but I can show you a better way. You in?
Woohoo!
That's a surprise.
Hey, I'm floating!
I see that. Where was it 3 hours ago?
I don't know how it's here now. I feel great.
Well, back to the psychokinetic drawing board.
Oh no! Hey, don't laugh. That really hurt.
You good? Cool. Hey, I'm Russell Poole. I wrote this big thing. Thank you to Attilo and Orshi. If y'all are watching, the video turned out amazing. I know that it was a major time crunch, but I'm happy it all worked out, and I thought it looked really cool. So great job to everybody involved. Yeah, I'll answer some questions now if anybody has any. What were your biggest inspirations in writing this? I can kind of break that up into several parts. Greatest inspiration in terms of people. For every piece of writing I do, I use real life, and I just use people from my real life. Corey is based off of my friend who is a fitness instructor, kickboxer. Barnaby's based off of a kid I roomed with in college. So everybody in there, maybe with the exception of the bartender, is based off someone in my real life. In terms of like the story itself, I love ghosts. I don't believe in them, but I wanna. And I've wanted to write like a ghost story so bad. I just haven't really gotten the mechanics of it yet. But I've also just been watching like a lot of anime and noir stuff recently, as the pandemic rages on. And so I had the idea to just combine them. I thought of some power sets that I really liked, and I just went ahead with it. So what made you decide to animate it? That was not actually my idea. It's an animated pilot, so like it was always intended to be animated. But Attilo and Orsley actually were the people who came to me and said, we can make this a motion comic. It's a thing that we do. And it's a thing that we think is kind of necessary for the story to unfold. And I gotta say, I love the results. I thought that was so freaking cool. So I wish it were my idea, but it was not. I had a very strong creative team that I really appreciate. Oh. Orshi, are you here?
Hello, yes, I've been sent to you.
Awesome. I mean, do you want to answer the question?
What was the question? I totally missed it. I'm so sorry. And it is 2 a.m. where I am, so I will be doing this for that video if that's okay.
It's okay. We'll just ask you this real quick, and then you can go to bed. What made us decide to animate it, or I guess what inspired you to animate it?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that the question should be for Attilio, who directed the show, because it really was like his big thing that he got the script and he saw that it was meant to be an animated pilot. I think he really wanted to experiment with that format. It's his inspiration from motion comics, which with you, the few, even together, I think with the cast, we've been sharing some links around that are just like classic comic books that are taken, that were drawn to be still images, and then they are just animated to bring it a little bit more to life, and then they're elevated by the voice acting, which is I think what Attilio was going for. So he kind of invited me to help him with doing that. But I think it really was about also influencing the acting, because I do think that the acting gets really influenced if it's something where it's only your voice is going to appear, and something where you're allowed to be big and you're allowed to make more drastic changes. So I think that was kind of what he was going for.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that y'all were brave enough to tackle that, because I can't. I didn't see this before it went on. Today has been insane. Orsi and Attilio have been just working so hard to get this out here, but it turned out so well. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I really appreciate it.
Well, we're all very happy that you're happy, and technical challenges are always technical challenges, but I'm really glad that you got to share it as well.
Exactly. We move forward. So the next question is, how did this piece change since being in the writers group? I broke this up very much in the writers group. I did not come into the group with a full product. I came in with 10 pages and like an idea to flesh it out. And then I really, I kind of leaned on the other writers to be like, all right, where can this go? And they were really helpful in terms of, like plot holes in the power structures and like each person's superpowers and stuff. They were super crucial in characterization and like specific character voice and things like that. So every week I would just bring in another like 5 to 10 pages. And they all gave great notes. Everybody in the group is a great storyteller. So it really grew because I had valuable opinions every week and every time we met. The next one is, what are your future plans for this piece? So this is a first draft. I am going to use this experience to probably do some rewrites. I definitely want to keep a lot of the animation though, and I'm sure a lot of the actors would also like to keep some of the animation aspects of it, maybe for reels and stuff. But the first draft of anything is going to need to go through some rewrites. But once it does go through some rewrites, I have a couple of other specs and a couple of other pilots. I'll probably send those out to like festivals or even agents or networks and, see if anybody's interested in picking it up. Would you want to stage it live? How would that look? You probably could stage it live, although there's a lot of coming and going in terms of scenes. And whenever I write plays, I usually like to keep it in one spot. But whenever I write for television, I'm fine with like moving around the world a lot more. So while I think you could do it stage, I would prefer to keep it animated. At the very least, kind of like a live action thing, but that might be too supernaturally, not to throw shade at a TV show that lasted for 15 seasons. Or 18, I don't know. It was on for a while. Anyway, any more questions, or can Orsi go to sleep?
I'm good. Don't worry.
No more questions. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for participating and asking questions. Orsi, thank you again so much for animating it. It looks amazing. Get some sleep and I'll email you and Tillo tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.